Oh, good morning, all you beautiful people. I'm sure y'all are like, what the hell is this asshole doing up this early on a Sunday morning? Well, reality is, it's pay per view day. We're going to talk about the AEW Revolution or upcoming, Revolution pay per view. Isn't that what's coming up? I think that's what's coming up. That's tonight. I'll look here in a minute just to make sure. It's a little early. I'm a little foggy. We've got we got the coffee going. Oh, this morning I definitely have a death wish, and this coffee is death wish. Anyway, so listen, we're gonna knock this out. We're gonna get this podcast out there, out and about for the world to see. Here's what's going down. Been a hell of a week of professional wrestling. I can't not do the show. I got to produce the content. But the reality is, I've got to be at a pay per view at 4:30 this afternoon. We got work to do. This is the life. Okay, so what I decided to do was I stayed up late getting everything prepped and ready. I got up not early, but kind of, and got myself a nice cup of coffee. I'm sitting here with you people, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over this week in pro wrestling, so I can get up out of here and go to a pro wrestling show to do some things for pro wrestling. So we got to, if you're in the greater area, Charlotte and Greenville and that region, come on out to Monroe, North Carolina tonight for XWW. Love, Hate, Tragedy. It's going to be a badass show. Just come on out if you're out there. Once again, this show is also brought to you by XWW and brought to you on the network, Extreme TV Online, which you can subscribe to for $4.99 a month. You got a ton of stuff on there. AML, Future Stars, you got Pro Wrestling Savage, you got a ton of different podcasts out there you can watch. There's just all types of great information on that site. Be sure you follow them on Facebook. Be sure you get that app on your Roku TV because that's what's up. Anyway, let's go ahead and get everything cracking this morning. What we are doing is we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw first and foremost. For normally there's this like lull, this slow part to me when it comes to the build for Mania. It's normally not a whole lot going on them last couple weeks, them last couple shows. I mean, even though you're not going to see, title defenses abound, you've got storyline and you've got all that sizzle going on. It's working out in my book. I'm enjoying the damn thing. And I hope you folks are too. But let's see here. Yeah, Finn Balor came in and cost Edge in the U.S. title match. That occurred. So all they're doing is sweetening that storyline up. Who knows what it's going to be? It's going to end up being Finn and Edge at Mania, but what type of match are we talking? Oh, are we going to get a TLC match? Is Edge going to do one of those? Is it going to be like a Hell in a Cell? I can't see him doing a Hell in a Cell match at Mania. I really can't. And it's not because there's something wrong with it, but because there's a lot more stuff going on and you don't want to add too much to that, that event. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm trying. Either way, even if you get just Finn and Edge, it's going to be a good match to add, even though we've seen the match before. It's going to be a solid matchup, and I mean they could always throw a stiff in there, but man, throwing Hell in a Cell, I can't see that. Anyway, so overall, man, Monday Night Raw, Sami Zayn come out, did his thing, said his piece. KO come out. Sami pretty much said, or KO pretty much said, look, I'm not helping you, but I'm sure it'll work out on its own. Eventually, what's going to happen is they're going to jump his ass. KO's going to save him, and that's how we're going. It's going to be like not last minute, but close to last minute. That's how it's going to go. Is my opinion. I'm going to start making sure I say my opinion and my thought, my guess, because some people out there just live and die by being right and wrong. So it's okay. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin occurred shortly thereafter, and Corbin yet again losing. Him losing to Sammy makes sense. The dude isn't bad, but they have no idea what to do with this guy. Mustafa Ali defeating Dolph Ziggler was a pleasant surprise. Solid matchup. Both those dudes can go. Nothing wrong with it. Cody Rhodes versus Heyman in a promo battle. You had Heyman on screen, and you had Cody in the ring, and they just went back and forth. Nothing wrong with that. It was a solid back and forth exchange. Of course, you're going to get Heyman now trying to do some underhanded shit, get a little dirty, and make some remarks. Either way, solid work by them. And Cody just all it did was make him look pissed off. Then he come back, right with what he was saying. So it's one of those things where I'm not a big fan of them going on that level because it's kind of ridiculous. It's all bullshit to everybody, but at the same time, it's still keeping things interesting. Asuka defeated Nikki Cross by submission. Fantastic matchup between them two ladies. They can do a lot with Nikki Cross if they just keep her grounded. Don't go too crazy with the she's crazy thing. Don't go. But they made it kind of weird with that one because they took two heels and put them in the ring. It still worked. Still a good matchup. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just occasionally you got to try to figure out, well, does it really matter anymore? And I don't think so. I don't think it matters good versus evil, bad versus good. Everybody's just chaotic neutral now. And that doesn't just apply to pro wrestling. That applies to you people in the crowd as well. All of us, everybody on this planet, everybody's just chaotic neutral right now. Because no matter what, we all have that one thing we'll turn it up for. What we got here? Johnny Guard timed in. Howard Stern of Wrestling Podcast. That's hilarious. Hey, dude, thank you. I didn't say it. Somebody else said that. I don't know who said it, but somebody said it about me, so I figured, fuck it, why not? I'll just do that. It's been a while though, but now that they added this little feature, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I'm probably one of the most vulgar podcasts out there, if not the most vulgar one, at least in this region. And it's okay because it's different. It's different for this. If you look at everybody else, I'm in the Bible Belt, my brother. So when you look at the podcasts in the area, especially professional wrestling podcasts, there is little to no swearing or anything like that. And I'm not from here. Number one, I'll give you a clue. There you go, Nationals. Yeah, see that? There's your hint. I really don't give a shit about it. It's one of those things where I'd rather be me than not me. I'd rather be me than anybody else. And if I'm going to be me, because I'm forced to be me, I'm going to be me to my fullest extent. And that includes saying whatever comes to the plate and knock it out the park. It is what it is. Seth Rollins defeated The Miz by ref stoppage. Thank God. Ended up with Becky and Lita invading the Ding Dong Hello segment, and we already know we're getting that matchup coming up at WrestleMania. Are they going to do that at Mania, or are they going to do that before Mania? I think they're doing it at Mania. It looks like it's going to be Lynch and Lita going for the tag titles, which I have no idea why they would do that. Are they? I guess they're looking for something to do. Put it on some legends. Put it on, probably your highest rated female ever. One of your highest rated female ever, dude. And Becky Lynch is fantastic. She's an excellent wrestler. She's undoubtedly one of the best ones in the company. For obvious reasons, but putting her in the tag title picture with a legend is kind of an odd choice. But hey, look, not my company. Bronson Reed defeated Chad Gable. Bobby Lashley just destroyed Elias. And Austin Theory retained his title with the help of Finn Balor. Over and under, it wasn't a bad night at the office for the WWE. They had a great showing, a hot ass crowd. That's been the other thing. Have you guys out there noticed how hot the crowds have been lately? And I don't mean just for WWE, I mean for everybody. I feel like the last 6, 8, 9 months, um, if you look back to now, that crowd reaction on most places is going through the roof. It doesn't matter if we're talking on the indies or we're talking on the pros. Anywhere you go right now, that crowd reaction is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's like the whole world knows it's Mania season and everybody's getting hyped no matter what, whether they're a WWE stan, a WWE fan, or a WWE hater. Because Christ knows they got a lot of them out there. Look, when you're successful, everybody hates you. Trust me. that's about the only thing the WWE and I have in common. Let's see here. Got who didn't see that U.S. title match ending? Oh, hey, Ray Charles could have seen that. He's dead and blind. But the point is that no matter what, they're still smoking that story up. They're still putting that story on a pedestal, man, and that's what needs to happen. They've got to build and keep building towards Mania without doing anything crazy. You don't want to do any massive shifts right now. So for them to still have great matchups, good content, and solid, we don't. Do we have a defender or a challenger rather for the U.S. title right now? No, we don't. We don't have one of those. So I'm looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as, well, now what's Theory going to do at Mania? He's not going to be left off the card, dude. Theory's fantastic. He's killer on the mic. His current run is great. His current shtick is excellent. His in-ring work is fantastic. What more do you want? The guy is going to be on Mania. It's a 2-day fucking show. It's got to be. It's got to be packed to the hilt with all your tops. Let's see here. We were getting Balor versus Edge at Mania, most definitely, and Mysterio versus Mysterio, which got a massive pop when Ray looked like he was finally going to hit Dom. Yeah, dude. Exactly. They're marinating that story. They're marinating that. And I'm all about it. I am all about the marinating of that story because I think it's going to be a fantastic story. Um, there's a whole bunch of shit out there that is going on with it. They're cooking so many different angles and so many different things are ending at Mania. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. Everybody right now has got it written into their brain that Cody Rhodes is going to defeat Roman Reigns. I'd still do too, but I would laugh my ass off if he didn't win the big one. Not because he doesn't deserve it, but because they just want to fuck with you and he's not going to get it at Mania. Like they'll give it to him the Raw afterwards or something. Something silly. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything that makes sense logically. But would it be the biggest pop, biggest payoff ever? Of course it would be. But you also got to figure Cody's a long way from done. So he could win this multiple times between now and the time he hangs it up. Will Reigns ever, go back to being full time? I have no idea. I doubt it. Why would you? Also, I like the way it is now. You're keeping him special. We're not oversaturated with Roman Reigns, but he's still the champion. Remember how everybody was like, oh my God, they're forcing Cena down our throats. And then, oh my God, they're forcing Reigns on us and we don't like Reigns. You remember that? Because I fucking remember that. It was dumb then. It's dumb now. The reality is the way they're doing this with Reigns holding the belt, he's still the fucking champ. He's just not winning it out. Uh, I just don't want them to try and beat Bruno's record. Dude, there is no way in hell that they're going to have it go that long. That's Brandon Lamb from the Swanton Pod, right? Brother, hey, look, it's early. If I'm wrong, my bad. Correct me. But that's Brandon Lamb from the Swanton Pod right there. Look, I'm all about it. I am I am fine with him carrying the title for however long they want to carry it, because in the end it's going to make something interesting. It's what's weird is 900 days straight. Oh shit. No, those are your buddies. My bad, buddy. My bad. Dude, I thought you were involved. My bad. Man, I guess that comes with me needing to meet them in person. I don't know. Um Shit. Anyway, fuck it. It's too early for that, man. I'll have to figure that part out later. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Damn, that's good coffee. I wish I had more. Um, my bad. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get at is this. Oh yeah, it's Dalton, right? Yeah, Dalton. My bad. Shit, Brandon. I thought it was you and him. Or it's Dalton and somebody. Anyway, we trying to get that all hammered down too, because we got a big show coming up here on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. the 7th of next month, January, February. Oh, that'll be March the 7th. We're gonna do that. Man, this motherfucker right here. All right, I'm gonna add Facebook just to block whoever that is. Busy bitch. I wasn't trying to open Facebook this morning, but I got some spammer in here named Tampon. Um, uh, this is the shit I deal with, y'all. It's not enough to deal with it, but you got to deal with it on air, and it sucks because I gotta go to 17 different destinations to try to figure out which one it's on, so I can get rid of the bitch. Block their goofy asses right here live on air. We're gonna go in and block somebody. Let's see here. Anyway, so back back to the fun parts. For people who don't get it, man, there is a ton of good content out there. There's a ton of great wrestling going on out there. Monday Night Raw is smoking. It don't, it absolutely is going out of control. Okay, I know how to do that one. At least I know how to get rid of this spam shit on my stream. But give me 1 minute, folks, and we will get right back into it. We're going to be talking about Dynamite here in just a minute, because we want to make sure that everybody gets coverage today. I'm not the biggest fan of AEW. I try, but not at all times do they make a lot of sense. So there's just certain things when it comes to it that don't sit right with me. I'm trying to make shit make sense. I try to, at least at all times. But WWE is doing a fantastic job with their storylines, and AEW is doing okay on some things, but there are some other spots that they really need to get some help with, and hopefully they get it taken care of. Where in the hell? It's not letting me do it. It's not gonna let me delete the bitch. Oh well. I'll get to it later. I'll figure it out. So AEW. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite because for anybody that doesn't understand it, the reality is I don't mind AEW. I really don't because Dynamite has a lot going on it. The wrestling is not bad. The production's definitely not bad anymore. It's way improved since the show started. I just have a hard time getting into some of the characters. And here's what's funny. Here's what's funny. My wife will watch professional wrestling on occasion, especially if we're there live or me and me and my daughter are watching it or me and the kids are watching it, whatever. She'll sit there and watch it for a few minutes. So I was like, oh hey, before you go to bed, watch this championship match that they're opening the show with. It's it's not their big belt, but it's one of their belts. I said just watch this, because this dude Wheeler Yuta is known down here in the Carolinas. I want to say he either did some work with Palmetto or he was trained at Palmetto or he did some training at Palmetto, but whatever. He was involved here in the Carolinas. So with that being said, she sat there and watched it, and she was like, "What? What the hell?" She couldn't figure out what was going on. Either way, Orange retained his title over Wheeler Yuta. Uh, Renee Paquette had a conversation with Paige and Uno. Let's see here. Starks and Jericho signed the contract for their matchup. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty went up against the Acclaim. The Acclaim snuck one in there. Solid matchup from them. Let's see here. Christian Cage came back. Jungle Boy attacked him real quick. Ended up busting Jungle Boy open with a steel chair. Sky Blue versus Saraya. Saraya took that win. Not a bad matchup. Um, that's not a bad way to develop younger talent. Sky Blue being a young up and comer in this. Saraya obviously being the veteran that she is. Didn't look bad, didn't look rough, just good way to get things going. For both of them actually. You want Saraya having that steam running into today, into the pay-per-view. You want her to have some steam running in. That way, when it comes time for her title match, she looks like she's ready for it. She looks like she's earned it. So you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that she's earned it, but that she's ready for it. She's got momentum. She's riding that wave. That's what you want to see. You want to see things like that. Of course, you get MJF and Brian Danielson with a promo. Predominantly, it was MJF running his mouth. Trying to get in Brian's head. Nothing wrong with that. Revolution Tag Team Battle Royal. I For the life of me, I cannot understand why they're putting Double J and Jay Lethal into this. It doesn't make sense to me what the unless they're taking a loss and it doesn't matter who that person is. Okay, then that makes sense. If it's to protect another team, okay, I get it. If it's to try to do something along the lines of, well, we're actually going to utilize this. Why? I I get that they're not doing much with Lethal and they're not going to do much with Jarrett, but is this the best use of their, skills? I don't know. Tony Khan had a massive. Okay, hey, it's Groundhog's Day. Bill Murray just said it's Groundhog's Day again. Tony Khan has a fucking announcement to make. Whew. My original guess was that the dude found a new coke dealer so he could save some money, and I don't know, get his company out of the red, or pay for more talent that's not going to be featured on TV weekly, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot going on. We just trying to make sure that we got everything locked up the way it needs to be. Main event was the uh, matchup between John Moxley and Evil Uno. I don't know if they busted him open or if he had blood packets or what in that hood he was wearing. I got no clue. But that was a lot of damn blood that came out of Evil Uno. So I don't know how they did that. I'm down with it for the not knowing part. I'm not down with it that it feels like blood is just oversaturated in this company. Period. Whether it's intentional or not intentional, it's oversaturated in this company, in my boat. Intentional meaning, you know, the way wrestling shows normally use blood. Unintentional meaning people fucking up and getting fucked up and bleeding all over the place like a stuck pig. That's not okay. there's a big there's a big difference, okay, between 1 and 2 here. If you don't know, now you know. But AEW Dynamite, not a bad show. I actually watched it live. Yeah, I know, fucking rare occasion, right? I watched it live. Um, I ended up, I've been ending up sitting out, sitting up, watching and recording shit. I still record shit so that way I can go back and watch it if I need it. But for the most part, I'm just chilling. Now, Friday night was huge. Friday night was huge, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you had SmackDown, you had Rampage, and you had Impact No Surrender, uh, all at the same night. And realistically, Impact ran concurrently with the other 3 hours of wrestling, the other two shows. Um, why why Impact is doing Friday night pay per views? I don't know. I really don't know. I've been trying to put my finger on that one, and I can't quite figure it out. I really think that they would do better, even though you know if somebody out there is going to order the fight, they more than likely are going to be able to watch their other shows on the side or on the phone or they'll record it and watch it later. I just find it weird that they're running a Friday night pay per view. Hopefully, in time, they'll adjust that. Um, yeah, we are rolling right along today. I'm already on Fridays because the reality is I got shit to do. So I'm doing my content to make sure we're out here for everybody, and still putting it out there on the podcast networks. Either way, SmackDown results. SmackDown, yet again, great show, 2 solid hours of fun. If you're not watching or paying attention to everybody out there right now, you're sleeping on some stuff. If you're one of those people that just says, "Oh well, I don't like this company, so I'm not going to watch it." I don't like all this shit. I watch it. There's a reason why, because that way I can say, "Oh yeah, I know, I know what's going on. I enjoyed this part of it. I didn't enjoy that of it." At least this way I can hold a conversation with people about professional wrestling. That's just me. Imperium defeated Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Madcap Moss. I found it funny how they brought up, Madcap Moss's real brother. I found that funny. That was cool. Ended up with uh, the Viking Raiders coming out. Then you ended up with Sheamus and McIntyre coming out. Well, because McIntyre came out anyway. I think they're gonna go McIntyre versus Gunther, which is odd, but I'm okay with it. I'm not bothered by it. Uh, LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston ended up getting the best of LA Knight, which I'm fine with. It's not a bad it wasn't a bad match at all. It was a fun match. LA Knight is super talented for people that don't realize it. Yeah, you're an idiot. Um and I'm not just saying that because he was involved with CYN, NWA, Impact, NXT, and WWE all in the last couple of years. He's been everywhere in the last couple of years. Um, Dominic Mysterio came out, talked shit to Charlotte Flair. Rhea ended up coming out. It's going to be a good matchup at Mania. I can't wait for that. Shayna Baszler defeated Natalya. Cool. Bray Wyatt ended up doing his Can You Keep a Secret? They did all kinds of wild shit with his character this week. So it wasn't just the darkness that he's been having. It was everything. It's like everything's starting to come out, and they're starting to wind it up. So it's going to make it look like you really don't know what you're going to get at Mania, and I'm fine with that. Karrion Kross defeated Rey Mysterio as well. Fucking gee whiz, who would have figured that shit out? I swear to God, these people. Some people are just like, it makes no sense to have this. It does. They've been cooking on this for a couple weeks back and forth now. Let them have the fucking match. Who cares that it's a mismatch? It was still fun. Uh, Jey Uso failed to help Jimmy at the end of the show to close it out because Jimmy and Sammy ended up in the ring back and forth. Jimmy got laid out. Main event Jey Uso didn't. I am loving the story. I'm loving the direction it's going. I'm interested to see how they polish it off. But that's been your WWE coverage for the week. Moving on, we're going to talk about Rampage. I'm sorry, we're going to talk about Rampage. So here we go. We had the Young Bucks versus Aussie Open. The Young Bucks ended up defeating Aussie Open. Wasn't a bad matchup. I don't mind Aussie Open. Jesus. I do not mind Aussie Open. It's one of those things where it's not my style. They're both of those teams are not my style of professional wrestling, but I can see where people enjoy it, so I'm not shitting on it. You know what I mean? I would much rather see, you know, two bruiser tag teams beating the dog shit out of each other. At the same time, I understand Super Kick Party and High Spots Super Club and all that. I get it. It's not my thing, but either way, wasn't a bad matchup at all. It was entertaining. Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale. Willow got wrecked by Storm. They go to get the spray paint. All of a sudden, here comes everybody else out. You know, Ruby, the whole thing, Jamie Hayter. Because it's going to be Ruby, Jamie, and Soraya. And I'm going to say right now, Jamie Hayter needs to win and retain that title against a hungry, we're going to call her an up and comer, and a women's wrestling living legend in Soraya. Paige was fantastic, especially earlier on in her career. Her NXT run was fucking wonderful. Her debut on Raw and winning the title from AJ, great. She was a great competitor. And people who don't agree with that, your bias is showing. She was excellent back in the day. Is she as good now as she ever was? I don't know. I haven't seen her in enough situations to, say that, oh, she's better than she's ever been or she's as good as she's ever been. No. I'm not going that route. Not doing it. For the people that get it, awesome. For the people that don't get it, sorry. Pay attention. You'll eventually fucking understand. Um, the Murder Hawk monster made his return after saying a tweet that, hey, I haven't been on TV for fucking ever. He says he hasn't been on TV forever. They put him on Rampage. So, somebody tell Drake, just put out a tweet, blah blah blah. Haven't been on TV, blah 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 blah. So we get him on TV next week too. That'd be fucking great. Is that what it takes there? Like somebody spell it out for me. I maybe I'm not all the way understanding what's going on. But do you mean to tell me that as talented as individuals as you have in that locker room, they have to send a fucking tweet to get on TV? Are you shitting me? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because that shit don't make good damn dog sense. Fido's over there licking his ass and just came up with a better idea than that. Why is that even a fucking thing these days? I don't get it. Oh, somebody's going to say, oh, the greasy or the squeaky wheel gets the grease. How about the guys that look the part, act the part, and can wrestle worth a damn be the ones to bring in your audience? And if you want to give them these other people, put them in fucking dark matches that nobody gives a shit about on TV, but the crowd still gives them their reaction. You have these people sitting in the arena for 7 fucking hours anyway. You might as well do something of logic. The main event for the evening was Sammy Guevara and Action Andretti. I'm overseeing these two guys going at it. While I like the storytelling that they're doing in AEW, what I don't like is the way that they do it. Case in point, Jericho and Ricky Starks. I thought I was done with Jermaine. No, bitch, he's still here. Look at this. Look at how much they're doing with this. They've already been in the ring 4 or 5 times. Still going. Action Andretti and Sammy Guevara 3 times at least that those two have been in the ring cross paths. Yet here we are again. It's fucking Groundhog's Day at AEW. All that different talent, and this is what you're going to do? I get it. I guess you're trying to marinate them, or you're trying to get something to stick for them. But your other option has been random matches that mean nothing. It's like, look, you can build and adjust with more shit than the same matchups, especially when you've got these factions everywhere. If you're gonna do faction on faction or faction on person, at least make them run the gauntlet through everybody. That'd be a little different. But you already had him beat Jericho. Like he already beat the guy that leads it. I don't know. I would have had him go up against Jake Hager and win somehow against him instead of Guevara. Jake Hager's not a bad wrestler for anybody who doesn't get it. Is he the best on the planet? No, but he's not a bad wrestler whatsoever. So many people out there just confused. Just confused. Uh, but either way, that was the ending of that. Rampage has ended. We are now talking about Impact, No Surrender. Dude, whether you've been watching and paying attention to Impact or not is kind of irrelevant. What you need to know and what you need to understand is this. Week in and week out, I don't care that it's taped. I don't care that, there's all these people that are, oh, it's shit. Look, they're utilizing all these old indie guys. Rich Swan's not an old indie guy. Rich Swan is doing a fantastic job. He was doing a great job in NXT. I'm still pissed he got fired over. Oh, wasn't that determined to be nothing? I think that was determined to be nothing in WWE, but he got fired nonetheless. They don't really put up with the domestic abuse shit, and good on WWE for that. Um, let's see here. You had Giselle Shaw versus Deonna Purrazzo, and Giselle Shaw defeated Deonna Purrazzo. By the way, all I did for this show was catch highlights. And I don't mean written, I mean like video captured highlights. I didn't actually sit down and watch the entire 2.5, 3 hour show. Um, Jonathan Gresham defeated Speedball Mike Bailey. Hey, look, Mike Bailey is a talented wrestler. Jonathan Gresham is that motherfucker. Okay? This dude is it don't matter that he's 5'4". Okay? It don't matter that he's my height. He is jacked and he will rip your ass apart. Limb from limb, shove them up your ass, and then beat you with it. It's the dude is ridiculously physically dominant. Wrestling isn't just about having the look. It's not just about being able to do the moves. It's also about being able to do it on the mic. It's also about not being a complete shitbag person, but that is subject. Oh, that is definitely card subject to change. Being a shitbag person. Let's see here. No Surrender was sold out. I don't know what that means, but it was sold out. I wonder. I wonder what the crowd size was. I'll have to look somewhere and see if I can find crowd size for No Surrender. All in all, looked badass. It looked like a great crowd in there. They were loud as shit. But you had Frankie Kazarian versus Khan, who we remember from being back on NXT and WWE back when NXT was really fucking good. NXT is not bad now. Hell, I didn't even talk about them earlier today. I'll go back and pull up NXT in a minute. What the hell was I doing on Tuesday? Oh no, I watched NXT. You know how hard it is to remember to watch all this shit? Thank God for DVR. Frankie Kazarian ended up defeating Big Con. So nothing wrong with that. Solid matchup from what I saw. Frankie Kazarian, back in Impact full time. There's nothing wrong with it. Frankie Kazarian's a fantastic wrestler. Uh, Not to mention, I still need to order and purchase, smoke some of their cigars from American Rebel. Shoot, pardon the pause there, folks. Let's see here. The Knockouts Tag Team Champions, the Death Dolls, defended against Hex, which is Allison Kay and Marty Bell. They ended up defeating Hex, so there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, the matchup wasn't. In this case, the matchup was not bad. You can see the glaring differences when it comes company to company to company, especially in the women's division. The Impact women's roster, in my opinion, is a solid second for how everything is built on it, how everything's done with it. Impact's wrestling women's roster, like I say, solid second. Questionably first on some occasions. They do a lot of stuff with the ladies over there, and there's nothing wrong with that. The digital media champion Joe Hendry, I believe in Joe Hendry, uh, defeated Moose to retain. Dude, crazy, crazy matchup. If y'all didn't watch it, you need to go check out the highlights. Mickey James has already said that she's going to beat Masha Slamovich tonight. Dave LaGreca hosts the first ever Busted Open live with Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. This is a weird spot. I'm just going to say it was weird. I get it. I get what they're doing. It's just weird because we all know, unless they're going to actually like sell this on air or somebody's got to go away on Busted Open Radio, like somebody's not going to be there anymore. It it's weird because I love the Busted Open podcast. It's one of my favorite wrestling podcasts to listen to. Is Busted Open Radio. I listen to them more often than I listen to anybody else. Period. No comma. Period. I listen to their podcast more than I listen to anybody else's podcast. Um, and that includes my own. Um, the only time I really go back and listen to my own is if I had a guest and I felt shit got a little weird or didn't line up. I'll go back and kind of listen to it after the fact. But that's the great thing. Live, you can't redo live because it's live. And then two, I'm not going to edit what I put out on the podcast networks because I don't want it edited. I want it as real as it gets, which is why we're doing it like this. That's why we do it live. I'm not cutting and pasting. I'm not adding fucking advertisements. I'm not doing any of the dumb shit. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Oh, speaking of doing shit. I had to remember that I have a business meeting today before pay-per-view. At least one. I might have two business meetings before the pay-per-view. Anyway, Steve Macklin versus Brian Myers versus Heath versus PCO. This is a fatal four-way number one contenders matchup. Steve Macklin wins. So that's number one contender for uh the Impact World title. That's not for anything else. That's just for the world title. Let's see here. Time Machine, which is the Motor City Machine Guns and Kushida versus the Bullet Club, which is Kenta Ace Austin and Chris Bay. The Bullet Club defeated Time Machine. It was a 3-on-3. It's not like it had any real bearing on anything going on. Just a solid 6-man pushing storyline. That's all they were doing there. Knockouts World Champion Mickey James versus Masha Slamovich. A weird spot of Mickey James biting Masha Slamovich in the tongue. Odd, but it's match was worth watching. Masha Slamovich, for being as young in the industry as she is, or at least as new as she is to Impact, she's doing fantastic work. It's really a solid show. Josh Alexander versus Rich Swann for the Impact World title. Josh Alexander retains. Matchup was fantastic. Those two dudes went at it. And for anybody who doesn't know how good Rich Swann is, he went up a bigger, stronger, more athletic guy and held his own. It was a great story of speed versus power. It really was. It was, hard hitting. It was technical. It was everything. Uh, really solid show. Really solid show came out of them. I hope a lot of people give shit a chance because not everybody's willing to give Impact a chance anymore. Especially, I'll be honest with you, I was pushed off from them for the longest time after Russo. So that tells you how long it's been. I fucking hate Vince Russo. Everybody else I can deal with. I think I think the world of Paul Heyman. I think the world of Eric Bischoff. Those two dudes I would love to sit and learn from. Jim Cornette, if he could ditch the political bullshit that he talks on his shows and stop trying to intermingle the two, wrestling and politics, even though politics is a huge part of wrestling, wrestling ain't a huge part of politics. That's what you need to understand. People come to do this shit and come to watch this shit, come to listen to this shit, come to talk about this shit because they don't want to fucking worry about the real world. They want to enjoy the, fucking off having a conversation and a back and forth with their friends or whatever. That's why we use wrestling is a hell of a drug. It's an escape. 100%. I don't want to talk about what's going on in DC. I don't. Do I care? Yeah, but I'm not here for that. Fuck that. I don't give a shit about that. You want me to tell you what's good in DC? I'll tell you what's good in DC. Yesterday, the DC Defenders and the Washington Capitals won. That's the best news coming out of fucking DC right now. DC's a shithole. In case you didn't know, been there, done that. Don't care to fucking go back. I don't care. Unless I'm paid to be there, I have zero interest in going back to DC. And that ain't bullshit. That's legit. And it makes things interesting when you say things like that. For those of you who don't know or don't get it, when you say shit like that, it makes things really interesting. So we're going to go ahead, because I skipped it earlier, we're going to talk about NXT. Big news that came out of it was Braun Breaker retains the NXT title from Jinder Mahal. Really not a bad matchup between those two. Isla Dragunov returned. Dude, I love this guy. I love watching this guy work. Fantastic. He defeated Trick Williams. Trick is starting to put on some weight. He's starting to gain weight and he's starting to get ahead of himself on that. The dude needed to get a little bit more size on him, in my opinion, but he's still athletic as hell. So, good on him. The Dyad defeated Chase U. I like the Dyad as a tag team. I loved them when they were in the UK. I thought they were fantastic. But it's just a weird spot that they're in. It's just weird. It's weird what they're doing with them. I'm trying to see how they're going to pan this story out with them. I don't know. It's great seeing Ava Rain on television. I want to see her having more matches, though. That would definitely be a good idea. Gigi Dolan returned and attacked JC Jane while she was having a match with Indy Hartwell, so that match got thrown out. Did they throw it out or did they just DQ Indy? I don't remember. I just know the match ended. Gallus beat the brakes off Blade and Inofi. Dude, Gallus, yet again, another strong team coming out of the UK scene. I'm loving that UK style. British strong style is what's up. There's no bullshit about it. Love watching that shit. Tony D'Angelo defeating Von Wagner. Why is Tony D'Angelo going up against Von Wagner? What in the hell does Von Wagner have to do in a ring? I'm not a fan of Von Wagner. I'm into a whole bunch of shit, but that's not one of them. Von Wagner to me, he's the drizzling shits on the microphone. He is not even mediocre in the ring, in my book. I'm giving y'all my opinion because when you see guys in the indies who are very well trained and can execute moves, have the look and have part. The only thing Von Wagner has going for him is kind of the look. He's a big, imposing looking sumbitch. The problem is he looks like a fucking Neanderthal. I don't know if it's steroids or if he's hit his head that many times. I don't know what it is, but the dude just doesn't fit the bill to me. Does not fit the bill to me at all. I don't get it. So Tony D going against him. At least Tony D didn't get hurt. So that's a fucking good thing. Beyond that, I could care less about Von Wagner. I'm done with that guy. That dude doesn't need to be on TV. Does not need to be on TV. He's not ready for fucking TV. He is not ready for TV. And he proves it weekly in the ring. It's not that he proves it by, not being there. He proves it every time he's in the ring that he doesn't need to be in the ring. He's not ready. He cannot conduct a match safely. And in the end, whether you like the style, don't like the style, hate the fucker, hate the company, hate this, hate that, I don't care. Or don't like or dislike, whatever, it doesn't matter. The reality is, when you're not safe in the ring, you're not putting on a good show. When you and your opponent don't get to go home the same way that your ass has walked into that door, that's a fucking problem. And I need people to understand that that's where my level is. I don't give two shits about a lot of things on this planet. I really don't. But folks, these guys and ladies put their lives on the line for entertainment purposes for us because it's a passion of theirs. So with that being said, I want them to be as safe as possible. And if you aren't a safe wrestler, get the fuck out of the ring. And guess who's not a safe wrestler? Von fucking Wagner. He's not safe. He's not, it's not a thing. I'm not into it. I can't fucking stand it if you need me to tell you the God's honest truth. I cannot stand this dizzy son of a bitch. Abysmal on the microphone, abysmal in the ring, does not need to be on TV. 1, 2, 3. Ring the fucking bell, okay? Alba Fire defeated Ivy Nile. Look here. I need a sip of coffee for this one. All right. I am down with both of these ladies. I think that Ivy Nile is a fantastic worker. She's really getting to her own. I feel like the MMA gimmick is a little bit oversold at this point because you've got a little bit of everybody trying to do it. Now, to make sure I'm perfectly clear, I also love Alba Fire. I think that both of them are fantastic wrestlers. Alba Fire, I've been watching since the UK. Ivy Nile, I've been watching since she got here in NXT. Fun showing for both of them. Fun matchup. Intense as all hell. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do to snap Ivy Nile into that next direction, put her in that next gear, because legitimately, if she grabs a hold of somebody, she's going to hurt that. If she were to go up right now against Roxanne Perez, I would see no reason that she would not defeat Roxanne Perez. Tie her up like a pretzel and stomp her into oblivion or shatter her into a million pieces. I have no problem seeing it. Ivy Nile is a believable contender. Alba Fire is just a fantastic wrestler. When I tell people that NXT's women's division is still as good, I'm not going to say it's as good as ever, but it's still as good as anything else on the market. There's no way people can look at those two women wrestling in the ring and not go, well, damn. It doesn't happen. You can't do it. That right there on NXT was one of the best women's matchups of the week. Of the fucking week that occurred. And that's across the pay-per-view. That's across, today is a new day. It's a new week, right? So now we're going to start the whole week over. We're going to start this whole fucking week over today because it's the first day of the week. Tonight, you have the Revolution pay-per-view. Coming out the gate, you have a company that has the ability for everything to be the best of the week starting today. Best of the week last week, women's matchup, right there. Alba Fire, Ivy Nile. No bones about it. No bones about it. Uh, I'm not even going to go with anything else. I'm not even going to, pick the rest of my week for matchups. You had Braun Breaker and Jinder Mahal for the NXT title. Braun Breaker retains. Look, a lot of people are not happy about this guy. A lot of people don't get it, don't like it. But man, I dig the guy. He's not bad on the microphone. He's not a bad wrestler. I just don't know if he'll be able to do too much of anything on the main roster at this level in his game. It's really just one of those things. There's a lot of different shit about him. There's a lot of different people that don't care for the guy. Me personally, I like the dude. I think he's interesting enough to be a title holder. He's interesting enough to, you know, I could see him versus Walter being fun. Groundbreaker versus Gunther, fucking Gunther. I could see him versus Gunther being fun. Um, and yeah, just to let everybody know, yeah, I'm getting all my cussing out of the way this morning so I can go to church. That's it. I just had to let y'all know that's what it is. Good grief. You don't need to go somewhere with that. Sorry. Direct message about that. Sorry. People don't get it. Oh man. So let's throw it out there. Tonight. Tonight we have the AEW showing for the Revolution pay-per-view. Let's go ahead and preview this damn thing coming up tonight. So that way we got everything going on. I'm pulling up the full match card right now. You have the AEW World Tag Team Championships being defended in a multi-person matchup. It's going to be Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal versus the Guns versus the Acclaim versus whoever wins the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal. Now that will be shown. I guess that's the pre-show. The AEW Tag Team Battle Royal thing is going to be the pre-show. Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks with everyone banned from ringside. The AEW Women's World Championship in a triple threat: Saraya, Jamie Hayter, Ruby Soho. A Texas Death Match. Can we just call? Can that just be a first blood match? The way it's over and done with quickly. Can we do that? Are we allowed? No. Well, we can't. I would do it because I think it'd be fucking hilarious. The TNT Championship: Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. I guess it's time for Wardlow to take the belt back. And the 60-minute Iron Man matchup for the AEW World Championship: MJF versus Bryan Danielson. Okay, so just for shits and giggles, let's go ahead and make predictions across the board. Ricky Stark's going to defeat Chris Jericho. And I'm making prediction picked based on bullshit that nobody knows, nobody cares. I'm just saying things just to say things. Okay. Ricky Starks defeats Chris Jericho. Jamie Hayter retains. John Moxley wins the Texas Death Match. Wardlow wins the TNT title. Oh, let's see here. How about the Guns retain? The Guns retain. I don't know, something silly. It's going to be a match. It's going to be somebody getting added to that matchup that nobody cares about. That team's going to take the L. The Guns are going to retain. Michael Tippett. Man, we covered that last week, but I will get to it in just a few minutes. The AEW World Championship 60-man Iron Man matchup. MJF retains. MJF's not losing that belt yet. Bryan Danielson ain't wearing that belt yet. Here's my prediction. All right. Here's my prediction. And you can have this going one of two ways. Uh, this is kind of what I feel like they're doing. The next AEW pay per view is going to be MJF defending against Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston is going to shock the world and win the belt. Eddie Kingston will drop it the following pay per view after being a fighting champion. He's going to be a fighting champion though. He's gonna be on TV defending and all this other shit. The shit that MJF's not doing. Eddie Kingston is going to drop the belt to Punk. Punk will drop the belt to Bryan. There's how I see it going. That's your next 3 champions right there. You got MJF right now. You're going to get Punk for a 3rd time. He'll be the first ever 3-time. Well, wait a minute. No, Moxley's 3 times. I guess something. You're going to have MJF right now. Eddie Kingston next. CM Punk takes it from Kingston. Daniel Bryan takes it from CM Punk. That's my order of events. If I had to throw a prediction out there, I think that's how it's going. If I was writing it, that would be it. And I tell you that because Punk being a heel, even though he's not a babyface, Punk being a heel and coming in and just bashing the shit out of the Elite and yet again the powers that be trying to fuck me over. That's where I think it's going. They're trying to hold me down. These fucking kids and all this shit. That's where I think it's going. I think they're going to utilize that real shit, shove it into this, and they're going to make things look good like that. Yeah. Yeah, you were definitely late on that. A fucking week late. We did this last week. That was last week, kid. That's just my order. That's just how I feel like it's going. I find it funny though how they tell you all the different providers you can order the pay per view on in this day and age. Shouldn't we be able to see this shit everywhere? I don't know. It's the digital arts age. Everybody's everywhere. But you gonna tell me we still need to announce that you can order the pay per view on fucking Spectrum? Okay, sure, good enough. Whatever. Jesus H Christ. Anyway, so that's my layout for AEW's Revolution pay per view, which is coming at you tonight, guys. I've got things to do. The phone's going crazy. There's people all over me. I've got to get shit done. So listen, thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. If you're in the Charlotte metro area, bring your asses to the XWW Love Hate Tragedy show coming at you live. Doors at 4:30, bell time 5:30, I think. Hell, I'll look real quick. It's written in here somewhere because that's where I'm going to be today. So that's why I've got to get up out of here right now. Love, Hate, Tragedy coming at you. Yep. Oh, show starts at 5 p.m. Doors open 4:30. Show starts at 5 p.m. in Monroe, North Carolina. Bring your asses, bring your cashes. Let's go to the show. That's what I want to do. So once again, big shout out to XWW. Thank you guys for everything that y'all do for me as well. Because you can find me Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all those social medias. Plus, you can find me on Insta and TikTok and everything else. But you can also see me on Roku TV. You can find me on the ExtremeTVOnline.com website. You can find me on the XWW app. We are everywhere. That's what matters. We're everywhere, and we're getting more, and every day is getting bigger. Every day I'm hustling. So y'all have heard that song before. That song, shit, sounds like the story of my life. You will see me soon enough in May. You will be able to find me at a kind of different show. Not the same thing, not what you've been expecting. But you'll find me at Heroes and Legends, the King of the Mountain. This is in May 13th, and I'm announcing it here live on this show for a reason. Go to that website and use promo code WIRE. See, WIRE. Use promo code WIRE. You know why? Because I could get you some money saved on your ticket. That's why you need to use promo code WIRE. Go to that website, get yourself hooked up. Remember, heroesandlegendswrestling.com. I will see you there in May in Tennessee. Between now and then, the man behind Heroes and Legends will be joining us on the show. Pretty sure he's going to be on the Thursday night show. We just have to let the stars and schedules align to get that one on there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I know it's early on a Sunday for all this fussing, but guess what? It's a must. So, thank you once again for tuning in. It's been real. It's been fun. And hell yeah, it's been real fun. We will see you next time. Be sure you check us out Thursday night for the Thursday night Indie Spotlight. Myself and David. We're going to go over some up-and-coming indie shows, everything coming up. We always lay out the weekend. You know why we predominantly focus on the weekend? Because it's Thursday. Then you can go to Wrestling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if we tell you a show, those would be the ones you should go to because you get to see us there too. So you guys have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Thank you once again.